The massive form of the ISS Hyperion cut silently through the darkness of space, its crystalline sensor arrays gleaming under distant starlight. Captain Marcus Rivera stood at the helm, his weathered face illuminated by holographic displays showing an approaching vessel of unknown design. The ship had appeared without warning near Neptune's orbit, its biomechanical hull pulsing with an eerie green light. "Unknown vessel is scanning us again, sir," reported Lieutenant Karina Patel from her tactical station. Her fingers danced across neural-linked interfaces, analyzing data streams that would have overwhelmed older systems. Their technology signatures match nothing in our database. Rivera nodded, maintaining his composure despite the gravity of the situation. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization was happening on his watch. After centuries of searching the stars, they had finally found proof they weren't alone. Or rather, proof had found them. "Keep our defensive systems in passive mode," he ordered. "Let them see what we want them to see." The Hyperion, like all ships in the Terran fleet, was designed to appear far less advanced than it actually was. Centuries of science fiction had taught humanity valuable lessons about first contact scenarios. The alien vessel's scans washed over the Hyperion's hull, reading only the outer layer of conventional technology. Deep beneath the surface, quantum computers processed combat scenarios while metamaterial armor remained in stealth configuration. The ship's true weapons stayed dormant, hidden behind false energy signatures. "They're transmitting," announced Communications Officer James Wong. "The Universal Translator is processing." "Got it." The main viewport shimmered as a holographic figure materialized. The alien was tall and serpentine, with iridescent scales and multiple sets of compound eyes. When it spoke, its voice carried an artificial smoothness that suggested machine translation. "Greetings, primitive vessel. I am Supreme Commander Zixful of the Veltraxian Dominion. Your species has been observed and found worthy of elevation. Prepare to receive our guidance." Rivera exchanged glances with his first officer, Commander Diana Reyes. They had drilled for this scenario countless times, but the reality was still surreal. "This is Captain Marcus Rivera of the independent starship Hyperion. We appreciate your offer, but prefer to maintain our independence." The alien's eyes flickered in what might have been amusement. "Your preference is noted but irrelevant. Our scans show your vessel's capabilities. Primitive fusion drives, basic particle shielding, rudimentary weapon systems. You require our leadership to advance." Chief Engineer Ravi Sharma sent a private message to Rivera's neural link. "They're trying to probe deeper through our hull, sir. The camouflage systems are holding." Rivera kept his expression neutral. "Supreme Commander, we respect your advanced civilization, but humanity charts its own course. Please maintain a safe distance from our solar system. Your species shows concerning signs of independence," Zixfall replied. "This will be corrected. Prepare for boarding. Resistance will only increase the necessary level of correction." The Veltraxian ship's hull began shifting, organic panels opening to reveal what looked like launch tubes. Rivera gave a subtle hand signal to his crew. Years of preparation were about to be tested. "Sir," Karina reported, "they're launching boarding craft. 20 units, heavily armed. Their shields are based on some kind of bioelectric field." "Interesting," Rivera said calmly. "Let's show them why humanity has survived every challenge it's ever faced. Lieutenant Patel, activate countermeasures. Mr. Sharma, power up the real drives. Time to show our new friends what primitive humans can do." The boarding craft streaked across space, their pilots probably expecting an easy victory over inferior technology. Instead, they met the full force of human ingenuity. Quantum-entangled defensive arrays sprang to life, creating force fields that operated on principles the Veltraxians had never encountered. The Hyperion's hull shifted, revealing hidden weapon ports that had been mathematically impossible to detect. "Multiple direct hits," Karina announced with professional satisfaction. "Their bioelectric shields are failing. They didn't expect quantum-phased energy weapons. The Veltraxian commander's image reappeared, compound eyes wide with shock. Impossible. Your technology, the scans, showed exactly what we wanted them to show, Rivera finished. Humanity learned long ago to keep our true capabilities hidden. We've spent centuries preparing for this moment, hoping for peaceful contact, but ready for the alternative. The remaining boarding craft tried to retreat, but the Hyperion's real engines roared to life, powered by zero-point energy taps that bent space itself. The massive ship moved with impossible grace, its metamaterial hull reflecting sensor data that made its position impossible to track. Final warning, Rivera declared. Leave Earth space immediately, or we will be forced to demonstrate more of our primitive technology. The Veltraxian ship began powering up its main weapons. Rivera sighed. Sometimes first contact scenarios went exactly as humanity's science fiction writers had warned. All hands, battle stations. Show them why you never underestimate human ingenuity. The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's introduction to galactic society. Not as primitives to be conquered, but as equals to be respected. And somewhere in the vast archive of human culture, an ancient quote seemed particularly appropriate. We come in peace, but we're ready for war. As the Hyperion's quantum weapons lit up the darkness of space, Rivera knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had prepared for centuries for this moment, and they would face whatever came next with the same determination that had taken them to the stars. The news of the Hyperion's victory spread through Earth's colonies like wildfire. 2 weeks after the encounter, Captain Rivera stood in the ship's strategic command center, studying holographic displays of Veltraxian fleet movements. Their initial encounter had revealed humanity's strength, but the real challenge was just beginning. They're reorganizing their forces, Commander Reyes observed, highlighting clusters of enemy ships with a gesture. Multiple battle groups converging on these coordinates. The hologram showed dozens of Veltraxian vessels moving toward the human colony of Artemis Prime. According to intercepted communications, Officer Wong reported, they're calling it a pacification force. Apparently, our resistance has marked us as a species requiring special attention. Chief Engineer Sharma manipulated another display, showing detailed scans of Veltraxian technology. Their biomechanical ships are fascinating. They've evolved their technology along completely different lines than ours. But that's their weakness. They don't understand principles that don't fit their biological paradigm. The Hyperion maintained position near Artemis Prime, Earth's most distant colony. The settlement represented humanity's first successful terraforming project, home to 2 million colonists. Its loss would be devastating to Earth's expansion efforts. Multiple contacts. Lieutenant Patel's voice cut through the command center. 3 Veltraxian dreadnoughts just emerged from FTL. They're different from the ones we encountered before. The main display showed the new threats. These ships were massive, their hulls covered in what looked like living armor. Bioluminescent patterns pulsed across their surface in hypnotic waves. They've adapted, Rivera noted grimly. Their ships show signs of modification specifically to counter our quantum weapons. He turned to Sharma. Good thing we didn't show them everything in our first encounter. The engineer grinned. The prototype is ready, Captain. We've been waiting for the right moment to test it. Rivera nodded. Signal Artemis Prime to activate their planetary shields. Then let's introduce our friends to the next level of human innovation. The Veltraxian ships moved into attack formation, their organic hulls rippling as weapon ports opened. A transmission cut through their communications. Primitive humans, a familiar voice declared. Supreme Commander Zixval, your previous victory was an aberration. The Dominion has studied your technology. Your quantum weapons will find no purchase against our evolved defenses. Rivera allowed himself a small smile. Supreme Commander, I see you survived our last encounter. Before you attack, I should mention that quantum weapons aren't humanity's only surprise. The Hyperion's hull began to transform. Panels that had appeared solid morphed into complex geometric patterns, each surface reflecting and refracting light in impossible ways. The metamaterial armor wasn't just changing its appearance. It was altering the very way the ship interacted with reality. "Sir," Wang reported, "they're launching some kind of biological missiles. Readings suggest they're designed to breach our quantum shields through dimensional resonance." "Perfect timing for a field test," Rivera replied. "Mr. Sharma, activate the Einstein protocol." Deep within the Hyperion's core, a new type of engine hummed to life. Based on principles that merged quantum mechanics with Einstein's theories of relativity, it allowed the ship to partially exist in multiple states of spacetime simultaneously. The biological missiles streaked toward the Hyperion, their targeting systems locked on what they perceived as the ship's position. But that position existed in multiple quantum states at once. The missiles passed harmlessly through space that was both occupied and empty. "Impossible." Zixval's voice cracked with frustration. "Your technology violates fundamental laws of physics." "No," Rivera corrected. "It just violates what you think are the fundamental laws. Humanity has spent centuries pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Lieutenant Patel, demonstrate our point." The Hyperion's new weapons activated. Instead of trying to overpower the Veltraxians' evolved defenses, they simply altered the local properties of spacetime. The enemy ships found themselves fighting against physics itself as their biomechanical systems struggled to adapt. "Their hulls are destabilizing," Patel reported. "The dimensional flux is disrupting their biological components at the quantum level." The battle that followed was brief but decisive. Unable to cope with weapons that changed the nature of reality around them, the Veltraxian ships were forced to retreat, their living hulls scarred by exposure to shifting dimensional states. As the enemy fled, Rivera received an urgent message from Earth Command. Similar attacks had been launched against other human colonies, but everywhere the Veltraxians encountered human ships, they found new and unexpected technologies waiting for them. "They thought studying our quantum weapons would give them an advantage," Commander Reyes observed. "Instead, they forced us to reveal even more advanced systems." Rivera watched the retreating ships on his display. "They still don't understand. Humanity didn't just develop technology. We developed ways of thinking about technology that they never imagined. And we're still not showing them everything." The Hyperion's crew began assessing their new weapons' performance, knowing that this victory, like the first, was just another step in a longer conflict. The Veltraxians would return, probably with new adaptations, but humanity would be ready, with even more surprises waiting to be unveiled. In the colony below, millions of humans looked up at their defenders with pride. The age of hiding humanity's true capabilities was ending, but their greatest innovations remained secret, waiting for the moment when they would be needed most. The mood aboard the Hyperion was tense as Captain Rivera reviewed the latest intelligence reports. 1 month after their victory at Artemis Prime, the situation had grown more complex. The Veltraxians weren't just gathering ships, they were forging alliances. "The data is confirmed," Intelligence Officer Nadia Volkov announced, her holographic presentation showing dozens of alien vessels. "The Veltraxians have convinced 6 other species to join their campaign against us. Most are civilizations they previously subjugated. Forced allies," Commander Reyes noted bitterly. "They're using them as cannon fodder." The command center's displays showed an unprecedented gathering of alien fleets. Vessels of various designs and technologies, all united by fear or loyalty to the Veltraxian dominion. But there was something else. Encrypted transmissions coming from some of the Allied ships. "Captain," Wang called out, his expression animated. "I've decoded some of those private channels. These subjugated species, they're watching us. Our victories have given them hope." Rivera studied the tactical displays thoughtfully. "Hope can be more powerful than any weapon." "Ms. Volkov, what's the status of Project Prometheus?" "Ready for deployment, sir, though it's not exactly what the Veltraxians will expect." The project represented humanity's most ambitious technological achievement, not a weapon, but a means of communication and coordination that transcended normal spacetime. It had been developed in secret, waiting for the right moment. Multiple contacts. Patel's alert cut through the discussion. Massive fleet emerging from FTL. They're everywhere. The tactical display lit up with hundreds of signals. Veltraxian dreadnoughts led the formation, their biomechanical hulls now covered in crystalline structures that pulsed with dark energy. Behind them came waves of ships from their allied species, each modified with Veltraxian technology. They've enhanced their entire fleet, Sharma observed. Those crystals are designed to counter both our quantum weapons and the Einstein protocol. A transmission cut through all channels, broadcasting on every frequency. Supreme Commander Zixvol's image appeared, but he had changed. Cybernetic implants merged with his scales, and his eyes glowed with artificial light. Humans, his voice resonated with mechanical undertones. Your resistance ends today. We have adapted. We have evolved. Your tricks will not save you this time. Rivera stood calmly. You still don't understand us, Commander. Every time you adapt to our technology, you're actually falling further behind. Because humanity's greatest weapon isn't our tools, it's how we think. Irrelevant. Zixval dismissed. Your colony's defenses cannot withstand our combined fleet. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Actually, Rivera smiled. We were hoping you'd bring everyone. Project Prometheus. Initiate. Throughout the enemy fleet, supposedly subjugated ships suddenly broke formation. Their Veltraxian modifications went dark as hidden systems activated. Human technology, secretly provided through covered channels. Did you think we spent the last month just preparing for battle? Rivera asked. We were also making friends. Lieutenant Wong, send the signal. The Hyperion's communication array pulsed with exotic particles that didn't just transmit information. They created a quantum network linking all the rebel ships. Instantly, crews that had never worked together began coordinating with perfect efficiency, their actions guided by an AI that operated outside normal spacetime. Impossible. Zixval rage. These lesser species would never dare. Lesser. A new voice cut through the channel. Captain Krell of the Centaurian ships, one of the subjugated races. We have watched humanity resist you. We have seen them share technology freely. Treat us as equals. Today, we show you true evolution. The battle erupted across space. The Veltraxian fleet found itself caught between the Hyperion's advanced technology and their own former servants, now armed with human innovations they had never revealed. Their formation is breaking, Paddle reported with satisfaction. The rebel ships are using our quantum network to coordinate attacks their biotech can't predict. Rivera watched as the mighty Veltraxian fleet began to fragment. Their carefully evolved defenses, designed to counter specific human weapons, proved useless against the combined creativity of multiple species working in perfect harmony. You see, Supreme Commander, Rivera addressed his enemy. Humanity's greatest achievement isn't our technology. It's our ability to inspire others, to share knowledge, to turn enemies into allies. Today isn't just about defeating you. It's about showing the galaxy a better way. The battle raged on, but its outcome was already clear. The Veltraxians had prepared for human weapons, but found themselves facing something far more powerful. Human ideas, multiplied by the creativity and determination of every species they had ever tried to subjugate. As the Hyperion led its unlikely alliance into combat, Rivera knew they were witnessing more than just a military victory. They were seeing the birth of a new galactic society, one built on cooperation instead of dominance. And humanity, the species the Veltraxians had dismissed as primitive, was helping to light the way. The quantum network pulsed with urgent messages as the combined fleet regrouped near Jupiter's orbit. The Veltraxians had retreated, but intelligence suggested they were preparing something unprecedented. Captain Rivera stood at the Hyperion's command center, surrounded by holographic representatives from their allied species. Their remaining ships are converging on these coordinates. Captain Krell's crystalline form flickered as he highlighted a sector near Saturn. Our spies report they're implementing something called the Omega Protocol. We've detected massive energy signatures, Engineer Sharma added. They're channeling dark energy through their biomechanical systems in ways we've never seen before. The Allied fleet had grown stronger since their first victory. Ships from 12 formerly subjugated species now fought alongside humanity, each contributing unique perspectives and technologies to their shared cause. But the Veltraxians' desperation made them more dangerous than ever. New contact. Lieutenant Patel's voice cut through the command center. Massive signature. It's larger than anything we've encountered. The main display showed a horrifying sight. The remaining Veltraxian ships had somehow merged into a single monstrous entity. Biomechanical components writhed and pulsed. Dark energy crystals grew like cancerous formations across its surface, and at its core, a singularity began to form. "By the stars," Commander Reyes whispered. "They're trying to weaponize a black hole." Supreme Commander Zixfel's image appeared, but he was barely recognizable. His body had merged with his ship's systems, scales, and circuits intertwining in a grotesque display of desperate evolution. "Behold true power," his voice resonated through subspace. "If we cannot rule this sector, we will consume it. Your precious cooperation cannot save you from the void itself." Rivera exchanged glances with his alien allies. They had prepared for many scenarios, but this was beyond anything they had anticipated. The combined creature ship began moving toward Earth, its gravitational pull already affecting nearby space. "They're right about one thing," Rivera addressed his allies. "We can't stop this through conventional means. But perhaps that's not what we need to do." He turned to Sharma. "The quantum network, could we modify it?" The engineer's eyes widened as he grasped the concept. "You want to use it too?" "Yes, theoretically. But it would require every ship in the fleet to synchronize perfectly. All ships, all crews, all technologies working as one," Captain Krell added. "Like your Project Prometheus, but on a scale never attempted." Rivera nodded. "The Veltraxians tried to match our technology by forcing evolution. We'll show them true advancement comes through cooperation." The plan was audacious. Every ship in the Allied fleet would link their systems through the quantum network, creating a unified field that could manipulate space-time itself. Technologies that had never been meant to work together would be forced into harmony through human ingenuity and alien wisdom. "All ships prepare for synchronized quantum fusion," Rivera ordered. "Engineer Sharma, begin the sequence." The Hyperion systems merged with those of their allies. Centaurian crystal drives resonated with human quantum cores. Arcturian plasma fields harmonized with Rigelian dark matter arrays. Through the network, thousands of crews worked as one consciousness. The Veltraxian monstrosity approached, its artificial singularity growing stronger. "Your unity is nothing compared to our perfect evolution," Zixfel's twisted voice echoed. "Evolution without wisdom is just chaos," Rivera replied. "Now, all ships, execute Protocol Unity." The combined fleet's energy signatures merged into a single point of light. For a moment, space itself seemed to hold its breath. Then reality rippled as thousands of different technologies, guided by the shared will of multiple species, created something entirely new. A quantum wave expanded outward, each ship adding its unique energy to the whole. When it reached the Veltraxian beast ship, it didn't attack, it transformed. The artificial singularity began to collapse in on itself as the unified field rewrote the very laws of physics around it. "Impossible," Zixfel screamed. "What are you doing?" "Showing you true evolution," Rivera answered calmly. "Not through force, but through harmony. Every species contributing its strengths, its understanding, its perspective." The massive creature ship began to break apart, its forced evolution undone by the combined power of willing cooperation. As it disintegrated, escape pods launched from its dying mass, Veltraxian crews choosing survival over extinction. In the aftermath, the Allied fleet held position, their unprecedented unity having achieved what no single species could have done alone. The quantum network hummed with celebrations in dozens of languages. "Captain," Wang reported, "we're receiving transmissions from across the sector." Other subjugated species are rising up. The Veltraxian dominion is falling apart. Rivera looked at the holographic faces of his alien allies. What had begun as a defensive alliance had become something more, a model for a new kind of civilization, one built on shared knowledge and mutual respect. The real work begins now, he told them. We've shown the galaxy that true strength comes not from domination, but from bringing different peoples together. The question is, are we ready to build something new? The answers came in many languages, but they all meant the same thing. The age of empires was ending. The age of cooperation had begun. 6 months after the Battle of Saturn, the ISS Hyperion docked at the newly constructed Unity Station. The massive space installation hung in Earth orbit like a shining star, its design incorporating architectural elements from all member species of the newly formed Galactic Cooperative. Captain Rivera walked through corridors where humans worked alongside former enemies and newly discovered allies. The station represented everything they had fought for, not just victory, but a new way of living among the stars. The last Veltraxian holdout surrendered this morning, Commander Reyes reported as they entered the Grand Council chamber. Their remaining military leaders are requesting asylum. They say they want to learn our way. The chamber was filled with representatives from over 30 species. Some had fought alongside humanity from the beginning. Others had joined after witnessing the power of cooperation. Even a small delegation of reformed Veltraxians sat among them, their cybernetic implants removed, choosing to evolve through understanding rather than force. The quantum network has been successfully adapted for civilian use, Engineer Sharma announced, displaying holographic data streams that connected worlds across vast distances. We're already seeing unprecedented advances as different species share their scientific knowledge freely. Lieutenant Patel, now heading the Cooperative's Defense Force, added her report. The combined fleet patrols are working better than expected. Ships of different species are learning to complement each other's strengths. We're developing whole new tactics based on cooperation rather than raw power. But it wasn't all military matters. Officer Wong, who had become something of a cultural ambassador, shared exciting developments. The exchange programs are flourishing. Humans are learning alien arts and sciences, while other species are fascinated by our literature, music, and philosophy. There's even talk of an interspecies orchestra. Rivera smiled, remembering how it all began, with a single ship defending Earth from what they thought was just another conqueror. We never expected first contact to lead to this, he mused. We prepared for war, but found something better. The station's AI announced the beginning of the council session. Representatives took their seats as holographic displays showed similar chambers on dozens of worlds, all connected through the quantum network. The agenda included everything from trade agreements to cultural exchange programs, from scientific collaborations to joint exploration missions. The Arcturians have proposed a joint mission to the Galactic core, Reyes mentioned. Their plasma drive technology combined with our quantum navigation could make it possible. A group of Centaurian scientists wanted to establish a unified academy where all species could share their knowledge. The Rigelians offered their expertise in dark matter physics to help develop new clean energy sources for developing worlds. Former Veltraxian bioengineers, freed from military control, were eager to adapt their organic technology for healing instead of warfare. We're receiving another contact request, Wong announced during the session. A previously unknown species at the edge of charted space. They say they've been watching us since the war ended. Rivera exchanged glances with his alien colleagues. Once, such news would have triggered defensive protocols and military preparations. Now, it brought excitement and curiosity. Prepare a first contact team, he ordered. Mixed crew, following the new protocols. Let's show them what cooperation looks like from day one. The Hyperion would lead the mission, carrying representatives from multiple species. They would approach not as conquerors or defenders, but as diplomats and explorers, ready to welcome new friends to their growing family of worlds. Later, standing at the station's observation deck, Rivera watched Earth rotate below, while ships of various designs moved through space in perfect harmony. Commander Reyes joined him, holding a datapad with reports from across the cooperative. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" she asked. "When we first faced the Veltraxians." Rivera shook his head. "We prepared for centuries to defend ourselves, built weapons, developed strategies, hid our true capabilities. But in the end, our greatest weapon wasn't any of that. It was our ability to turn enemies into friends, to show a better way." A ship of unique design caught his eye. Human quantum drive technology merged with Centaurian crystals and Veltraxian biomechanics, crewed by members of all three species. It represented everything they had achieved. "The real victory wasn't defeating the Veltraxians," he said. "It was proving that different species could work together, grow together, build together. We didn't just save Earth, we helped create something entirely new." As if to emphasize his words, the quantum network lit up with another discovery. A young Rigelian scientist, working with human quantum theorists and Arcturian energy specialists, had made a breakthrough in faster-than-light travel. It was already being shared across the cooperative, each species adding their own insights and expertise. The age of isolation was over. The age of empire had ended, and humanity, once prepared only for war, had helped guide the galaxy towards something far greater, a future where strength came not from dominance, but from the combined power of many peoples working as one. The stars beckoned, not as conquered territory, but as a frontier to be explored together. And the ISS Hyperion, the ship that had started it all, would lead the way into that bright new dawn.